Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to share with you just a few tips on how I was able to get rid of my phone addiction, screen addiction, and overall how I learned not to be addicted to phones at all and how I learn to not use my phone at all for several days at a time. And this is something it took me a while to learn, and at the same way I learned how to be addicted, because that's what addiction is. It takes a while to get addicted to it, so it takes you a while to unlearn it. So these are my tips, so let's get started. Now, this video might not be applicable to people who need their phones for work, because if you can't turn off your phone for hours or even days at a time, then this video is not for you. But this video is for those who can. If you are able to turn your phone off for hours at a time, maybe even a few days at a time, this video is ideal for you. This is more about digital and social and, life's minimalism in general. So this is something more ideal for people like me. I've learned how to kick off this phone addiction a long time ago. So I just thought I'd share with you the habits of how I was able to get rid of it and how I learned to live without it. And throughout most of my life, I don't even use my phone. And this is for you. Instead of relying on your phone to give you notifications, lists, and notes, I carry one of these. Pen and paper. You can't go wrong with pen and paper. Fits your pocket, just like this. Just like that. Perfect. You can fit in any pocket, pretty much. And when you go shopping, you can just make a list of what you're going to buy. And that way, you can just focus on what's in front of you. Because when you have a phone, you're concerned about the time, what you need to do, notifications or phone calls, other things, or what I'm saying is you tend to get more distracted when you have a phone and a screen in front of you. So you tend to just mess around with your phone a lot, and it takes a lot of your time and distracts your brain and you lose focus. So once you start writing down, you write things down, it's with you, you've got something to hold, and you're less likely to forget, and you're more focused, and you know what you're going to do, what and when. Especially when you go shopping or when you need to have a meeting, or okay, what time, like meeting who, what, when, or make a quick note here and there. It's right there in front of you, and you could always make a copy of it somewhere, so you could stick it somewhere with like a post-it note or a piece of sellotape. That's another advantage of having no phone on you whatsoever. There it is. The next step is airplane mode. Your phone is on, but give yourself a break, just a few hours. Give yourself a target of having 1 hour, then 2 hours, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, and so on and so on. So just give yourself a target. So give yourself a schedule. Okay, from this time until that time, I'm going to have my phone on airplane mode. So I will not be distracted by any phone calls or any notifications or go on the internet at all. And another way of doing it is to, once you put your phone in airplane mode, put it in a drawer somewhere, or put it somewhere you know you're going to find. And also give yourself some like a barrier, like, no, I promise myself I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to touch my phone for the next hour or so. So by giving yourself hourly targets, like 1 hour, 2 hours, you'll gradually get used to that habit. It takes a while, but you'll get used to it in the end. And your mind and your daily routine will thank you for it. Here's another little tip to go with that. While you're not using your phone, you can be doing some cleaning, you can be doing some other work, you can do anything. Something else. Keep your mind preoccupied. At least that way you're focused. So try that and see what happens. The next step is to leave your phone at home. Pretty tough. Sounds a bit outrageous in this day and age, but try it. Now, I was born in the 80s, I grew up in the 90s. I had a life before mobile phones even came about, before everyone even had one. What happened was, when you went out, your phone was at home, and if anyone wanted to get in touch with you, you had to call them back. There were answering machines. The same thing can easily apply here. When you go out, let's say you want to go for a walk in the park, or just want to get away from, take a break from work, or take a break from your home routine, or just go out in general, just leave the phone at home for a few hours. And don't put yourself in a position where you might need it, but It's only when you're sure you won't need it at all. For example, if you're going to go out with friends, yeah, you might need your mobile phone on in case they cancel at the last minute or they're running late or something. Like, I don't mean like that. I mean like if you're going to go out so you can, give yourself a break from anything in particular, or you just need some fresh air, leave your phone at home, turn it off, put it in the drawer, and then go out, enjoy the sunshine, spend time with nature, go for a walk in the park. You'll feel better as a result of it. And when you come home, then you can check. It's like, okay, were there any messages? Are there any notifications? And then you'll feel good at the end of it. You'll feel like gradually you feel that you won't really need to take your phone with you everywhere you go. So overall this is the step. Leave your phone at home when you don't need it. Another little tip, so that you won't be so dependent on your phone, is to have one of these. A calendar. That's right. A calendar that's actually something you could hang up and have a look on your wall, write down things like meetings or events that are taking place in your life, and then you could sort of look at it. It's right there in front of you, so you don't have to rely on your phone to tell you or give you notifications, and it's all there monthly. Just flip through, very simple. It doesn't have to be so big. You can just get one of those little ones that you can put on your desk. The point is not to rely on a screen to tell you everything. So I like to buy something with a little bit of work of art on it. So, in conclusion to this tip, get yourself a calendar, and this will get you more organized and more focused. Now, for those of you who are wondering what calendar this is the Alchemy Gothic 1977. There you go. I'm sure you can see that. Alchemy Gothic. I got this from Amazon. This is the 2023 calendar, and they've got some of the most beautiful artwork on there. I mean, it's very inspiring, just very eye-catching, beautiful artwork. I mean, just look at that. So I never tire of looking at artwork like this. So if you want a nice calendar on your wall or on your shelf or whatever, yeah, you can get yourself one of these. The next tip I recommend is to read real books, not e-books. Remember, you're trying to get yourself off screens. Read actual books, and get yourself a little lamp that you could sort of attach to your bed frame or a shelf or something, and it has sort of like an orangey dim light, so that when you're reading, you've got a nice dim light, so that your eyes get a little tired and adjusting to the darkness. And while you're reading, it could be anything. As long as it's a physical book, your eyes will gradually tire from all that reading, and eventually you'll fall asleep naturally. This is already knowing that your phone is off. It's been put away. You're trying to focus on going to sleep so you can get a nice, refreshing sleep. So that's the next tip. Focus on get yourself a book, read until you fall asleep. So avoid screens altogether. And once you finish with the book, you can always sell it or exchange it for something else. So that's the end of my little tip. For this next tip, this might be a little difficult for some, but it takes time, it takes practice, it takes a while to get used to, is to limit the amount of time you spend on social media. Or better yet, even if you can, delete it. Because the aim is to interact with real people. Because that way, what social media has done overall, it has caused a lot of anxiety. And when you're anxious all the time, you're always thinking, you get distracted a lot, and you get anxious, you have negative feelings and emotions running through your head. Once again, you lose focus. So if you want to really use your social media, give yourself an appointment, a scheduled time. Okay, from this time to that time, I'm going to be checking a few things like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, what have you. I mean, I don't have that many accounts as it is, and I just check them quickly. And if I'm going to go on social media at all, I just want to upload something very quickly. So the idea is to spend as little time as possible to reduce the anxiety, to make you feel better. The next tip is to arrange get-togethers with friends and family face to face. And also, once you get together, make yourself a pledge and say, you know what, I'm going to turn my phone off because I want to spend time with you. It's you that I want to spend my time with, not on my phone. So once you turn it off, put it away, focus on the individual. And sometimes some people might actually think, actually, that's quite a good idea. I'm gonna do that too. Airplane mode, turn the phone off, and then they can have an actual conversation without having to worry about any distractions whatsoever. And once you start doing it, other people will look at you and say, wow, this person's brave enough to do that. Well, I'm not sure if I can do that. Well, once you implement these tips one tip at a time, they'll be able to implement it themselves. So overall, you'll have a nice family interaction without any distractions from phones whatsoever. So that way, you'll all have a genuine, fun, loving conversation overall. And you can genuinely connect with people rather than through screens like this. Now, some of you might be looking at this, watching this, thinking, but I want to listen to some music. Once again, it doesn't have to be your phone. It can just be an MP3 player, or you can use a spare device that holds videos and music files that you can actually listen to that doesn't require any internet connection. That's fine. When you separate the devices, you don't become dependent on one device for everything, because we don't just use phones for phone calls anymore. We use it for emails, we use it for listening to music that's on the internet. We also use it to watch videos on social media platforms and things. The point is to be disconnected from the internet and also to not depend on your phone so much. The point of this video is to sort of remove your addiction to your phone and also give yourself freedom from that. So to plan ahead, if you want to take some time away from your phone, put it away, but you want to listen to some music or watch a video, just put it on a separate device. It could be a tablet, or it could be a separate phone that doesn't have a SIM card or something. Even that will do. The point is not to feel anxious when you don't have your phone with you. Okay, that's fine. Or you can always go for your laptop, you can always go with a PC, but ultimately it's up to you what you want to do with your device and how much time you want to spend with it, as long as you don't get addicted to it. That's the point of this video. Another little idea you can implement is this. When you go to a cinema or a theater, or maybe even a concert, they require you have this e-ticket where you sort of have your QR code scanned by security. Okay, you can have your phone off until that point. So when you go to the venue, like a cinema, concert, or theater, do you have your e-ticket with you? Yes. Turn it on, bring it up, let them scan it, and that will be it. And then turn it off. Your phone is with you, but then you don't really depend on it because your phone is off, and then you can focus on other things. So that's another little tip. Like if you really have to take your phone out, basically when you go out, leave the house, but you have to take your phone with you, you don't have to have it on all the time. You can just use it for that. Now, if everything I've said is way too difficult to implement, again, it takes time. It takes a while. It takes practice. It takes occasional planning and focusing in order for you to achieve this goal. But if it makes you feel any better, by all means, take your phone with you, but turn it off. Only turn it on when you actually need it. When you actually need to actually take your phone out to show someone something, or make a phone call, or do something in case of an emergency, or exchange numbers with someone, and so on and so on. So again, you can always take your phone out with you, but leave it off. You can always give it a go and see how you feel and see how things go on. And that's it. These are my tips on how to kick your phone addiction, remove your dependence on screens. And if you have any other thoughts, opinions, or any pieces of advice, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. I'd like to see how you guys get on and let me know how you guys, kick the addiction as well. Good luck. I hope this video is helpful to you. If you've come this far, thank you very much for watching. So, take good care of yourselves.